In my previous life, my parents died in a car accident. My twin sister was adopted by the wealthiest man in the capital circle, while I was taken in by a nouveau riche couple. The only son of the wealthiest man was a yandere, and my sister became his plaything, tormented beyond recognition, her legs crippled. I, however, under the careful cultivation of the nouveau riche couple, successfully entered the entertainment industry, becoming a popular starlet. Driven by jealousy and hatred, my sister burned me to death. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the day my sister and I were adopted. This time, my sister was the first to kneel before the nouveau riche couple, calling them mom and dad. Little did she know that the young master of the wealthiest man, no matter how cruel, was just a 15-year-old yandere. But the nouveau riche couple were cunning people who had clawed their way up from the bottom, full of tricks. There was no way her pig brain could handle them. Later, my sister embarked on a path of self-destruction. I successfully seduced the yandere brother, and he pinned me against the wall. Sister, you're not being honest. Brother needs to punish you. Mr. and Mrs., I want to be your daughter, I'll be very good and obedient. My sister Juliet ran to the nouveau riche couple, speaking sweetly. The nouveau riche couple hesitated, whispering to each other. They're both 10 years old, and they look almost the same, which one should we choose? Hearing their words, my sister hurriedly promoted herself, Mr. and Mrs., choose me. I will work hard to repay your kindness. Seeing her eagerness, I realized she had also been reborn. In the previous life, the nouveau riche couple were indecisive between us sisters. Later, the wealthiest man arrived with his son, Ethan. As soon as my sister heard that he was the wealthiest man and had a handsome brother, she was quick to choose them. I was taken away by the nouveau riche couple. But I never expected that 15-year-old Ethan was a yandere maniac. The wealthiest man was busy with work and rarely came home, and my sister was tortured by him in every way. In the end, she was even disfigured and her legs broken, leaving her confined to a wheelchair. I, on the other hand, was carefully cultivated by the nouveau riche couple, nurtured into a talented and beautiful young woman. Later, they even spent a fortune to help me pave the way, sending me into the entertainment industry. In just 2 years, I became a popular starlet in the entertainment industry. But behind the glamour was a dark abyss, which I didn't even want to recall. Seeing the nouveau riche couple sizing me up, my heart skipped a beat, and I quickly took out the photos of my deceased parents and started crying. Wah, Mom and Dad, I miss you so much, no one can replace you in my heart. The nouveau riche couple's expressions changed, and the woman pointed to my sister and whispered, it seems like this one can't be tamed, let's take her. My sister knelt down with a face full of joy. Dad, Mom, I will definitely listen to you. At this moment, the headmaster arrived late with the wealthiest man. Seeing me crying while holding the photos of my deceased parents, the wealthiest man showed a gratified expression. He felt that I was sentimental, and immediately decided to adopt me. My sister smiled maliciously and whispered, Sis, I'm so envious of you for having the wealthiest dad and such a handsome brother. Then, she said to Ethan, who was next to the wealthiest man, Brother, from now on, my sister and you are one family, you must take good care of her. She deliberately emphasized the word care. Ethan ignored her, his eyes filled with amusement as he looked at me. My sister gave me one last look, the look of someone looking at a dead person, and left without looking back, holding the hands of the nouveau riche couple. I watched their backs and breathed a sigh of relief. Siste. Congratulations on entering hell in my place. In my previous life, when my sister was tortured into a cripple by Ethan, I successfully debuted with the help of the nouveau riche couple, becoming a hot and popular starlet in the entertainment industry. Later, I also starred in a movie that grossed billions, and I became a highly anticipated actress overnight. In the eyes of outsiders, my sister and I had fates with the difference between heaven and hell. My sister thought so too. She blamed all her miserable experiences on me. When my sister set fire to burn me to death, she didn't know that I didn't want to live anymore. She didn't know that the heaven she was rushing to get into was the real hell. Thinking of this, I looked at Ethan, who was sitting next to me. Compared to the nightmares I had in my previous life, he was simply an angel in my eyes. After all, What yandere brother wouldn't love his sister? Juliet couldn't do it, that was because she was too stupid. In the car, Ethan noticed me staring at him and said coldly, "Have you looked enough?" His expression didn't look like a 15-year-old boy, gloomy and terrifying. My heart skipped a beat. If that's the case, then I'll seduce him step by step. Brother, I've never seen such a handsome guy like you before. Are you really going to be my brother? I smiled sweetly, my eyes full of admiration and longing. Ethan turned to look at me, a hint of playfulness flashing in his cold eyes. Do you really want to be my sister? What nonsense. I'm only 10 years old, and I've been adopted by your dad. Do I have a choice? Yes. I'm so happy to have a brother who loves me. I pretended to be happy, then became uneasy, lowered my head with red eyes, and rubbed the ragged corner of my clothes. But brother probably doesn't like me either. They didn't like me at the orphanage, they hated me. Ethan was stunned, and said stiffly, I don't hate you. I stopped sobbing and hugged his waist. That's great. Brother doesn't hate me. Brother likes me. Ethan's body suddenly stiffened, and he pushed me away abruptly, his eyes becoming gloomy again. Get lost. Don't touch me without my permission. As expected, he's a yandere, with unpredictable emotions. The wealthiest man in the front seat smiled and told Ethan to get along well with me. I knew very well that this family was actually just a home for Ethan and me. The wealthiest man flew around all year round for work, and the only one who was always with me was Ethan. As long as I had a good relationship with Ethan, this yandere, everything would be fine. When we arrived at the mansion, the wealthiest man ordered the butler to arrange my room next to Ethan's. From then on, I began my seduction of the yandere brother, Ethan. On the first day of school, I hugged his arm and wouldn't let go, crying, Brother, I don't want to be separated from you, I'm scared, wah. Ethan saw me crying with snot and tears all over my face, like a poor puppy that had been abandoned, and couldn't bear to shake off my arm after all. Next, I became his #1 fan, always talking about my brother with pride. When I was sick, I refused to take medicine unless Ethan coaxed me. When I couldn't do a problem, I pestered him to teach me, and when I learned it, I wanted him to reward me with a hug. I was like an accessory on his body wherever I went, clinging to him tightly. 3 years passed like this, and Ethan became more and more used to my dependence, no longer disgusted by my physical contact. Even the butler said cheerfully, This is the first time I've seen the young master care about someone else like this, miss, you're so lucky. Hearing this, I knew I was stable. That night, I took advantage of the thunder and lightning to climb into Ethan's bed. Ethan came out after taking a shower and saw me on the bed, his face suddenly darkened. Brother, I'm scared. I just had a nightmare, I want to sleep with you, okay? Before E could get angry, I cried first. Complex emotions appeared on Ethan's face. Anger, murderous intent, and a deep sense of powerlessness. I thought to myself, oh no, am I going too far? So I cried and got out of his bed, apologizing, I'm sorry, brother, when I was little, my mom would hug me to sleep when it thundered. I just miss mom. A hint of pity flashed in Ethan's eyes, and he muttered something softly. Then, just as I was about to leave with a pillow, he pulled me back. You sleep next to me and behave yourself, you hear? I was shocked. Did it really work? That night, Ethan and I slept in the same bed. Feeling his gentle patting on my back, a strange emotion surged in my heart. Although I wasn't by his side in my previous life, I knew him quite well. In fact, he wasn't so perverted to Juliet from the beginning. Because his mom died early, and his wealthy dad was often not around, he was more lacking in love and craved to be loved by others. But Juliet, that idiot, flaunted her wealth and made friends with bad company after becoming the wealthiest man's daughter. She had more of a hostile attitude towards Ethan, her brother. Because she coveted the wealthiest man's fortune, she felt that Ethan was a stumbling block to her inheritance. Later, she even dared to try to hire someone to kidnap Ethan and tear him up, which was why Ethan broke her legs and disfigured her. I was very clear about my position. I wanted to use love to influence Ethan, this yandere. Now that I had succeeded, I even felt a sense of interdependence with him. Brother, I want to work hard to become stronger and protect you. I said from the bottom of my heart. Ethan's hand paused, and he chuckled, "Little kid, take care of yourself." Time flew by. In the blink of an eye, Ethan had become a university student, and I had successfully come of age and finished the college entrance examination. I saw Juliet again at my coming-of-age ceremony. She followed behind the nouveau riche couple, wearing an elegant evening gown, her face beautiful. She had the delicate feel of a newly debuted starlet. But she looked listless, her eyes dull. It was clear that she had been worn down. Seeing me appear in ordinary clothes, she straightened her back and walked towards me. Raising her chin, she looked me up and down. "It seems like you haven't been doing too well these past few years. That pervert Ethan won't even let you wear a nicer dress?" Before I could speak, Ethan's cold voice came from behind. "Who are you calling a pervert?" The moment Juliet saw him, her already pale face became even whiter. In her previous life, she was abused by Ethan until she was no longer human, and she had a great shadow of him. Seeing his disgusted gaze on her at this moment, her voice began to tremble. "I'm sorry. I was talking nonsense." Ethan didn't look at her again, but turned around and took out a diamond brooch, clumsily pinning it on my chest. "Sister, this is a gift that brother made himself. Happy birthday. In a few days, you're going to study abroad. If you miss brother, call me. Brother can fly over to see you anytime." As he spoke, he seemed to want to hug me, reaching out and then dropping his hand. "If you're not comfortable living there, brother will buy you a house outside the school and find a chef from home to cook for you." I was touched and refused him. I had finally lived like a normal person in this life, and I just wanted to experience college life like an ordinary college student. "Don't worry, brother. I'll take care of myself. Did you forget? We have to keep a low profile." Ethan was amused by me, and a shallow smile appeared on his cold face. "Okay." After he turned around to greet the guests, Juliet finally came back to her senses from the shock. She excitedly grabbed my arm and asked me impatiently, "Why is he so good to you?" I ignored her broken expression and replied with a smile, "He's my brother, isn't it normal for him to?" "Oh, be good to me? Aren't your nouveau riche parents good to you?" My rhetorical questions seemed to have evoked her painful memories. Juliet collapsed. She clutched her hair tightly, as if she had fallen into extreme pain and couldn't escape. How could this be? Why is this happening? Suddenly, the nouveau riche couple's voices rang out from behind her, and Juliet's face changed drastically in fright. "Juliet, Director Zhang is here today. Come and meet him with us." The two pulled Juliet back, her body trembling, and she looked at me with a hint of pleading in her eyes. I sighed and stopped them. "Mr. and Mrs., I haven't seen my sister for many years. I want to chat with her for a while. Is that okay?" The nouveau riche couple didn't dare to offend me because I was the wealthiest man's daughter, and they had been very fond of me over the years. "Okay, okay." The nouveau riche agreed with a smile, but his wife quickly pinched Juliet hard. "Hurry up, you'll be sorry if you delay things." Juliet's face contorted in pain from the pinch, but she could only nod obediently. After watching the two leave, she sighed in relief. Her legs seemed to be shaking a little, and I looked at her with amusement. "What's wrong? Are your parents not good to you?" She was angered by my expression and rushed up to tear my clothes. "I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You must be lying to me. You don't dare to wear expensive clothes. Is it because you have injuries on your body and you're afraid of getting them dirty?" I looked at her crazy appearance and understood. It seemed that she had also experienced what I had experienced in my previous life. In my previous life, after the nouveau riche couple took me home, they began their perverted education methods. They only allowed me to sleep for 4 hours a day, and I had to study the rest of the time. Weiqi, painting, math olympiad, piano, horse riding. I was chronically sleep deprived, and once I fell off a horse and almost became paralyzed. The nouveau riche couple remembered every penny they spent on me, including medical expenses. Then, when I turned 18, they forced me to repay them double. It was from that time that I was gradually pushed into an abyss by them. They began to force me to learn some charming methods to please rich women and male bosses. Those glamorous resources were all exchanged for my body and tears. Once, I was played with by a boss for a few days and couldn't get out of bed, afraid to walk or go to the bathroom. Because it hurt too much. I felt dirty and exhausted, but I couldn't escape their control. On the night I won the award for Best Actress, there were already 3 bosses waiting in the room to celebrate for me. When I was in the most pain, my sister appeared pushing a wheelchair, her eyes red, and burned me to death in a fire. Calculating the time, she should have just entered the entertainment industry in this life. She had probably only been abused by the nouveau riche couple, and they hadn't really sent her to hell yet. Juliet lifted my sleeves, and when she saw my smooth arms, she burst into tears. Why? Why didn't Ethan abuse you? Shouldn't you be covered in injuries? The rumors these years have been that the Gu family is not good to you, their adopted daughter. How could you be living better than me? Her expression was agitated, but it seemed to have pulled on the wound on her arm, and she winced in pain. I looked at her with a mocking gaze and sneered silently. The news that Ethan spread was just out of protection for me. In private, he was very nervous about me. Looking at the collapsing Juliet, I curled my lips. Why, sister, don't you seem to want me to live well? Are you not living well in this life either? Juliet stopped crying instantly, her face full of shock and panic. You've also been reborn? I remained non-committal, my smile even more playful. Both times you took the initiative to choose first. Could it be that you're such a waste that you're choosing a pit no matter which side you choose? With the word waste, she was stimulated by me and her eyes turned red. You're the waste. Just watch, I'll climb higher and be more successful than you. I nodded and smiled. Well, then good luck. A place like the entertainment industry, which is full of miasma and has no moral bottom line, is really suitable for her. Wait until she really experiences those hellish tortures, then talk to me about success. The nouveau riche couple came to urge her again, and Juliet wiped away her tears and raised her chin again. Juliet, you just wait. I'm going to be a big star, and then I'll have my fans cyberbully you. I'm going to expose the crimes of you, this black-hearted sister. My crimes? What crimes could I have? Both times I let her choose first, and after Mom and Dad passed away, I gave her everything. But in her eyes, that's not enough. She just wants to suppress me firmly and climb on top of me. She doesn't treat me like a real sister at all. I know today is your coming-of-age ceremony, so Ethan is cooperating with you in acting. I'm waiting for the day you get disfigured and have your legs broken. Juliet left the last sentence in my ear and laughed loudly as she left. She's not wrong, Ethan is indeed acting. I looked up into the distance. Ethan was holding a wine glass and talking to the guests, but his eyes never left me. His eyes were flashing with an unknown light. The next second, he smiled and walked towards me, pulling me into the dimly lit private room. Pinned me against the wall. Sister, I heard everything you said just now. You're not being honest. Brother has to punish you. The warm breath blew in my ear, mixed with a hint of itchiness. The woody scent from Ethan's body reached my nose. Feeling the fiery warmth from his chest, a surge of heat flowed from my nose. Damn it, these pectoral muscles, these abs, are developing so well. Ever since I climbed into his bed at the age of 13, this yandere has been out of control. Not only did he have to hug me to sleep every night, but he also told me bedtime stories. I resisted and told him that I had grown up and couldn't do this anymore. Not only did he not listen, but he also made me put my legs on his abs. Sister, don't you like this move the most? Thinking of this, the heat in my nose surged even more. I haven't even started punishing you yet, and you're already having a nosebleed? Ethan chuckled. I secretly cried out in my heart, it's okay, I might just be a little overheated lately. He let go of me and took out a handkerchief to wipe the blood from my nose, but his eyes became a little sad. You've not only been asking me to act with you all these years, but you've also been acting with me, right? My heart skipped a beat, and I remembered what he said just now. He said he heard my conversation with Juliet. Could it be I put a bug in the brooch? Ethan explained, his expression a little down. Ever since you were almost kidnapped when you were 15, I've been very worried about your safety. When I was 15, we encountered a group of kidnappers. They saw that Ethan was very protective of me and decided to kidnap me, this daughter, so that they could ask the wealthiest man for a high price. Fortunately, the bodyguards arrived in time and rescued us. That time, I took the opportunity to convince Ethan to act with me, to be cold to me on the outside, and even be a little bad to me. The wealthy dad also said that he wasn't going to give his fortune to me, this adopted daughter, in order to protect me. From then on, the outside world's attention to me completely shifted. It also deceived my sister Juliet, so she was so sure that Ethan was good to me just to act in front of outsiders. But she didn't know that Ethan was indeed acting, but he was acting very restrained. He loved me to death, wishing he could be with me every moment. Putting a bug in the brooch was also to protect my safety at all times. After all, what yandere brother would harm his sister? Thinking of this, a warmth rose in my heart, mixed with guilt. Brother, I know you're good to me. You heard what we said just now. Will you hate me for lying to you? A strange light flashed in Ethan's eyes, and he pushed me back against the wall again. He leaned over, his lips almost touching my cheek. I felt my ears burning hot. How could brother hate sister? But, you've been hiding so many things from me, you deserve to be punished. That night, I was punished by Ethan so much that I almost couldn't get out of bed. He tied my limbs to the head of the bed and lightly tickled my feet with feathers. Tell me, what do you mean by the 2 lives you were talking about? I begged for mercy repeatedly and told him everything about my previous life. Hearing that he had tortured Juliet beyond recognition in his previous life, Ethan snorted coldly. I can't stand that girl no matter how I look at her, although you two look very similar, she's really annoying, unlike you, who are so likable. He threw away the feathers and touched my head. Sister, thank you for choosing me to be your brother this time. I will definitely protect you. I was touched and thanked him softly. If it wasn't for him protecting me, I probably wouldn't have been able to grow up healthy. He shook his head gently, his eyes flashing with light. It's because of your appearance that brother feels that life has meaning. To be able to do something for the person I love, to accompany her to grow up, and to protect her for a lifetime. A lifetime? Maybe that's not bad either. Later, I couldn't resist Ethan and agreed to move into the house he bought outside the school. When he flew over, I would move out to be with him. In those 4 years, every time a boy confessed to me, he would block them in the name of boyfriend. He would also ask me jealously if there was any boy I liked. I found it funny, after suffering those hellish tortures in my previous life. I had long lost my longing for love, because I felt that I wasn't worthy. As dirty as my body was, so were those unbearable memories that were engraved in my soul. Seeing me not speaking and just crying, he felt very sorry for me, saying that he would definitely find a way to avenge me and help me out of the shadows. I hugged him touched. As for revenge, I still wanted to do it myself, it would be more painful. The 4 years of college life passed quickly, and I took intensive courses in screenwriting, directing, and other majors. With the experience I had in the entertainment industry in my previous life, these jobs were easy to get started with. Before I even graduated, I had written a very good movie script. Ethan brought it back home and had it made into a movie under the operation of the Gu family's film company. It was released for a month and grossed over $1 billion. On the day I returned home, I ran into my sister Juliet at the airport. In 4 years, she had become a popular starlet in the industry. A large number of fans who came to pick her up blocked the airport. When Juliet saw me wearing ordinary clothes and pulling a suitcase, she walked towards me provocatively. Sister, look, I'm so popular and successful now. I heard the fans around me talking. Is that Juliet's sister who was adopted by the wealthiest man? She does look very similar, but not as pretty and talented as our Juliet. Yes. Juliet is more pleasing to the eye. Juliet, I love you. Listening to the fans' praise, Juliet was very proud. Juliet, just wait, I'm going to become a movie queen soon. Then you, this waste, will be trampled under my feet. I ignored her and left the airport alone, pulling my suitcase. After getting in the car, I realized that Ethan's face was extremely gloomy. It turned out that he had heard what Juliet said to me just now. She dared to threaten you. I'm going to make her reg. Read what she said to you today. I squeezed his thick hand and smiled. Let's not talk about her today. I want to eat the spicy hot pot in the city center. Will you go with me? A look of doting flashed in Ethan's eyes, and his face changed from gloomy to sunny. Okay, I'll go with you for whatever you want to eat. After returning home, I wasn't in a hurry to enter Ethan's film company. After my previous life, I knew very well that keeping a low profile and biding my time was the way to survive. Ethan didn't force me either, but kept all the scripts I wrote a secret. My latest work happened to be seen by director Zhang, the director who made Juliet popular. He wanted to buy it, and I had Ethan refuse him. But I said that we could work together, because I had a lot of confidence in this work. Director Zhang agreed, and on the day of the signing, I didn't show up. Ethan signed it for me. Because I didn't want to see him. He was one of the entertainment industry bosses who had harmed me in my previous life. I wrote this script just to play the long game. I wanted to make him and Juliet both discredited. 2 months later, under the guidance of Ethan and me, Juliet won the leading role in director Zhang's big movie. In order to show off, she released the news that she wanted to invite me, this sister, to celebrate with her. Due to the overwhelming public opinion, I had no choice but to attend. Ethan snorted coldly and decided to accompany me. Director Zhang is an old friend of my dad's. It's appropriate for me to go too, only if I'm there will they not dare to bully you. I agreed, and he happily let me accompany him. But we both underestimated Juliet's boldness. She had planned to drag me to hell with her a long time ago. Inside the banquet hall, there was a lively atmosphere. The nouveau riche couple were dressed like peacocks in heat, covered in jewels, and accepted everyone's flattery. Juliet was like an obedient puppy, standing obediently next to the two. Director Zhang held her hand and praised her for being sensible, and a look of disgust flashed in Juliet's eyes. But when she saw me appear, it turned into pride. Taking advantage of the fact that Ethan had been splashed with wine and had gone to change clothes, Juliet seized the opportunity. Stepping forward and pulled me up, and walked towards those people. This is my twin sister. She's been studying abroad for the past few years and just got back, still looking for a job. Let me know if you have any suitable recommendations. All eyes focused on me. Many of them belonged to powerful figures who had tormented me in my past life. Their gazes were as unrestrained as before. A strong feeling of resistance surged within me, and painful memories flooded my mind. Juliet seemed to notice me trembling and pulled me closer, whispering, "Sis, looks like they didn't spare you in your last life either, huh? Why are you shaking? Are you cold?" I forced myself to calm down and managed a weak smile, retorting, "I don't know what you're talking about." Let go. She grabbed my wrist and suddenly exclaimed, "Everyone, my sister says she's so happy for me. She even said my success wouldn't have been possible without all of your support, and she wants to propose a toast to everyone." My heart sank. The gazes of those powerful figures became even more blatant, like vipers flicking their tongues. One person toasting so many of us isn't quite right, is it? A toast one by one would be more sincere. Someone started a chorus, and everyone clamored for me to go around and offer a toast to each of them. A hand landed on my shoulder. "Not bad, little girl. If you can make everyone here happy tonight, I might even arrange a role for you." It was Director Zhang. His greasy, lecherous face loomed closer, making me tremble all over. Instinctively, I shook off his hand and stumbled back, my face pale. A flash of displeasure crossed Director Zhang's eyes, and he turned to place his hand on Juliet's shoulder. "Your sister isn't nearly as generous as you are. Has the Ethan family taught her to be so timid and shrinking all these years?" Everyone laughed, and my disgust intensified. "Sis, are you perhaps jealous of my success, so you don't want to thank these powerful figures on my behalf?" Juliet looked aggrieved, her eyes reddening. I wanted to speak, but I vomited instead. These people, these words, filled me with utter revulsion. In my past life, it was them who left indelible marks of shame on me. I thought that after so many years, I would be able to face them with composure. But now I realized it was impossible. The damage they had inflicted was too deep, like a nightmare I could never escape. "Sis, are you not feeling well?" Why didn't you say so sooner? Juliet feigned concern, supporting me and ordering someone to pour me a glass of hot water. After one sip, the world began to spin. The scene before me turned pink, and my body grew hotter and hotter. Only then did I realize the water had been spiked. I never expected Juliet to be so bold at such a high-end party. My body out of control, I was like a rag doll being led to a guest room on the 3rd floor. Juliet whispered in my ear, "Sis, I've taken on so much for you in this life. It's time you paid me back some interest." With that, she stepped back, a wicked smile on her face, and opened the door to let several people in. Leading the way was Director Zhang. He excitedly reached out to touch my face. "Juliet, you're quite sensible. Your sister has a certain charm, doesn't she?" The 2 men beside him were eager to get started, agreeing emphatically. "Thank you for your praise, Director Zhang. I'll keep watch outside." "Please, enjoy yourself," Juliet said with a fawning smile, opening the door to leave. The next moment, she was kicked back in from outside. I struggled to open my blurry eyes, dimly seeing that it was my possessive brother, Ethan. He rushed toward me, eyes red, followed by a team of bodyguards. I couldn't hear what he was saying, only felt parched. "Brother, you're so handsome." I wrapped my arms around his neck and pressed my lips to his, closing my eyes. The noise of bodyguards driving people out behind me stilled for Ethan and me. The soft touch brought back a sliver of clarity and reason. "Brother, I'm sorry. Summoning all my strength, I pushed him away. Ethan's cheeks were flushed, and his eyes blazed with anger. He jumped up, walked over to Juliet, and slapped her twice across the face. "Where's the antidote?" Juliet was stunned by the blows, her cheeks instantly swelling, but she didn't dare retaliate. The person she feared most was still Ethan. So, almost without hesitation, she tremblingly pulled the antidote from her pocket and handed it to him. Ethan held my head in his arms, gently pried open my mouth, and slowly poured it down. The cool liquid instantly extinguished the heat raging through my body. I only felt exhausted. "Good girl, rest well. Brother's here, don't be afraid." Ethan kissed my forehead and carefully laid me back on the bed. He ordered 2 burly men to guard me and then kicked everyone else out. Through the door, I couldn't hear what he was saying, only sensed his fury. And the sound of Juliet kneeling and kowtowing outside, begging for mercy. And finally, the heartbreaking screams as she was dragged away. The door opened again, and Ethan sat down on the edge of my bed, reaching out to touch my face. "Don't be afraid, sister. Brother's here." Finally, I fell asleep, reassured. When I woke up again, it was the next morning. Ethan was watching over me, and he immediately handed me his phone. "Sister, brother already took revenge for you last night." The phone played recordings of Juliet struggling and begging for mercy. "Director Zhang, please, spare me. Ah, it hurts. Please don't hit me anymore. Mom and Dad, save me." She tried to beg, but the nouveau riche couple cursed her from behind the door. "You wretched girl, offending so many powerful figures. You better atone for your sins." Familiar scenes flashed through my mind, sending waves of pain through my body. I threw the phone away, trembling all over, and wrapped myself in the blankets. "No, no, get away." Ethan seemed not to have expected me to be so traumatized and quickly hugged me, trying to soothe me. "Yo-yo, don't be afraid, brother's here. It's all brother's fault, I shouldn't have let you see those things." I raised my hand and pushed him away with all my strength, punching him. "Why did you show me these things? I hate you. I hate you." The methods those people had used on me in my past life, the cruel pain, filled me with boundless hatred. I hated Juliet. I hated that nouveau riche couple. I hated everyone who had hurt me. I wanted them to suffer a fate worse than death. Ethan stood like a statue, sitting silently on the edge of the bed as I beat him. Until I cried myself hoarse, he sighed and pulled me back into his arms. "Are you feeling better? I'm sorry, brother only wanted to get revenge for you. I didn't realize it would hurt you again." I choked back sobs and nodded. I had never told him before that I had suffered the same things in my past life. He only thought I hated my sister because she burned me to death in the end. He didn't know that I had also been subjected to this inhuman abuse. He was heartbroken and cradled my face, wiping away my tears. Then he told me how he had taken revenge for me last night. After driving those people out of the room, he immediately announced that he was terminating his contract with director Zhang, even if it meant ruining the script. Furthermore, all industries under the Ethan Group would never cooperate with such scum in the future. Aware that he was the heir to the wealthiest man in the city, several people quickly apologized and admitted their mistakes. They said they had been instigated by Juliet and had only accepted her offer. Ethan only said one sentence. However, you were planning to treat my sister tonight, that's how you will treat her. Do you understand? Director Zhang and the others nodded repeatedly, dragging the screaming and begging Juliet to the next room. Tonight's party was attended by members of high society, but she had hoisted herself with her own petard. The rooms on the third floor were soundproof, so no matter how loudly she screamed, the people downstairs chatting and listening to music wouldn't hear anything. The nouveau riche couple, hearing that she had offended the Ethan family and several powerful figures, rushed up to scold Juliet. If we had known, we wouldn't have chosen you, you useless thing. All you have is a pretty face, and you couldn't even please someone. Now look, you've offended the people you shouldn't have. Juliet cried out in pain, and Ethan frowned. Too noisy. Everyone who is not involved, get out. Juliet and the nouveau riche couple were immediately escorted out by security. Director Zhang wanted to say something, but Ethan raised his hand to stop him. My sister doesn't like you as a director, so we're not planning on signing you. Director Zhang's expression changed drastically. He wanted to ask me why, but I didn't even look at him. Then why did you give me 2 scripts before? He still didn't give up. Outside, police sirens were already blaring. Ethan answered his question for me. Because my sister said, you have to cast a long line to catch a big fish. Director Zhang was arrested for sexual assault and intentional injury. The breach of contract fee he had to pay was astronomical. Juliet, as the victim, was also taken in for questioning. Ethan handed over all the videos of Juliet drugging me and me nearly being taken advantage of to the police. Even the videos of Juliet being gang raped were handed over as well. At first, Juliet stubbornly refused to admit it, claiming that the videos were AI deepfakes. It wasn't until the nouveau riche couple Ari Ved and threatened her not to speak nonsense that Juliet finally broke down. I confess everything. I spiked the drink. What they did to me is all true. My mom and dad are the masterminds. They coerced me when I was just 18. Juliet cried and confessed, starting to accuse the nouveau riche couple of abusing her since she was a child. And those powerful figures in the entertainment industry who had abused her. Although this matter was suppressed as much as possible, a recording was leaked under Ethan's manipulation. When fans heard that their beloved popular star was a manipulated puppet, a plaything of capital, they all exploded and wanted to demand justice for her. As a result, Ethan quickly released a second recording. Inside was her confession that she had drugged and framed me and wanted to drag me down with her. Now, those fans who had previously felt sorry for her and wanted to speak out on her behalf all turned against her and unfollowed her. They cursed her for being malicious and deserving it. Juliet's dream of stardom was completely destroyed, and the nouveau riche couple was also hated by everyone. Director Zhang was exposed for repeatedly abusing celebrities using his position and was blacklisted in the industry. He went bankrupt overnight and committed suicide by jumping off a building. Those powerful figures who had bullied celebrities along with him were also exposed one by one. They were initially stubborn, but later, for some reason, relevant evidence was suddenly sent to the police. None of these people escaped justice. As for Juliet, because she was a victim and only drugged me without causing actual harm, she was detained for a month and then released. The first thing she did after being released was to find her nouveau riche parents and hack them to death. It was said that the scene was very bloody. Juliet killed with bloodshot eyes, chopping them into minced meat. When she was arrested, she was still waving the knife and chopping, cursing, "It's all your fault. Why did you force me? Why did you use me? Die." When they were about to arrest her, she resisted with the knife and was shot and killed on the spot. With that, all my revenge was complete. After Juliet died, no one claimed her body, and she was cremated hastily. Ethan asked me if I wanted to scatter her ashes, but I shook my head. In this life, and the next, I never want to see her again. My brother nodded, a little nervously asking me, "What about me?" I smiled and hugged his waist, just like when I went home with him. "You are my good brother forever." He seemed very pleased inside. "It was because of that brother that I decided to protect you for the rest of my life." "No, the next life, and the next, too." My heart was filled with warmth. "Brother, you're so good." "I know." "Brother, are you willing to stay by my side and protect me for the rest of your life?" "Yes." The end.